Welcome to How to Grow Using AI, Machine Learning, and Intelligent Automation, a podcast by eClerks. We explore how AI and machine learning are being used to scale businesses from end to end. But that's not all. In each episode, our industry experts dive deep into topics like AI-enabled sales optimization, predictive analytics, AI-powered marketing, and machine learning for product personalization. I promise to give you the goods, the insights, and the strategies that you need to grow your business. I am your host, Nicholas Cole. Today I have joining me Austin Reed. He is the co-founder of Horizon Development, your go-to software agency for automation, websites, and mobile apps. Today we're going to be discussing sales enablement as it relates to AI. We're going to be discussing all things technology. But before we get into that, Austin, why don't you take a quick moment to let us know just a little bit more about yourself and your role there at Horizon Development?
Yeah, my name is Austin Reed, and I'm the CEO and co-founder here at Horizon. My role is basically to communicate with customers, to do sales, do a lot of sales outreach. Most of my day is just talking with people, helping the teams out, do a little bit of coding now and then, not as much anymore, but most of it's just talking with people and communicating, to be honest.
So obviously there's been an explosion of new technology out there, generative AI, ChatGPT, and all of that good stuff. And so a lot of organizations are excited about it. They want to get into generative AI, AI in general, machine learning, intelligent automation, but I don't know how to get started. And so can you give us an idea of how can an organization get started?
Yeah, I think the best way to get started, the easiest low-hanging fruit would be to do like some simple email personalization automation when it comes to sales. There's platforms like Make, Zapier. Make is like the better version of Zapier, or N8N, which is the better version of Make, that do automations. And what you can do is you can hook up one of those Make services to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT can automatically personalize emails. So you can use a service like Zenrose to grab, for example, some website data. So say I grab a list from like Apollo or from ZoomInfo or any of these data providers of companies that I'd like to sell to. The lists come with the websites. I upload that list to Make, and then Zenrose will grab all the text off all those websites. I take that text, I send it to ChatGPT, and it will generate a personalized email to send out to those clients. I can then upload that to a platform like, again, Apollo or Smart Leads or Instantly, and I can send AI personalization at scale. Whereas before, like an SDR, if they're keyboard warriors, they might be able to send about 80 personalized emails a day. I can send thousands by clicking a button. So it's a huge difference. The barrier to entry is a lot lower. Obviously, there's a lot more complex automations you can get into. But I think doing that and just getting into the basics of training ChatGPT assistants so that they can do little workflows for you. Like I have one that helps me build notions. So I can paste a text, maybe some documentation or something that I want to build a page or an SOP about in there. It'll come out with beautiful looking Notion formats, and I can just copy paste that in a Notion and bam, it looks amazing.
So you mentioned a few tools out there, Notion, Make, Zapier. And so what are some challenges that you've seen organizations have to overcome?
First of all, their infrastructure isn't really set up to use AI, and they are still caught in this mindset of they need really big teams. Our team is really small, and our competition, they're making millions and millions and millions of dollars, and their team sizes are huge. Like their sales teams are 20 plus people. I have me. So I've had to come up with creative ways of being able to compete and even dominate in these markets that they aren't quite capable of doing. For them to be able to change their entire company infrastructure to be able to implement some of these adoptions would be really hard. If they could do trainings for their SDRs, their BDRs, their sales teams, to be able to enable them to use AIs and give them the power to do so, they would do a lot better. But a lot of them are tied into these platforms like HubSpot, Apollo, and things. And for them to change infrastructure, I mean, that's a massive amount of data just all in of itself moving like all your data from a CRM to be able to integrate with a platform like that. That's a big move. But if they don't move, and the longer they don't move, the more they're going to fall behind.
So you mentioned all that movement. It definitely could be hard with all of that old systems that are in place, and now everything is changing at a rapid pace. So with that being said, can you give an example of how AI-driven automation has transformed business process from one of your clients?
Absolutely. So we use AI to do predictive models based on data. So say, for example, you have e-commerce store, just a general e-commerce store, and you're doing a certain amount of sales. And say, for example, you have physical stock. So you have to buy and keep stock in a warehouse somewhere. It would be nice for you to know what more or less you're going to sell every month so you don't overbuy or underbuy a certain item. Well, with AI, we can implement that directly into their systems to be able to determine what their sales volume and predict what it should be. That not only helps you when it comes to buying stock, that also helps you make financial decisions. And you can even take that AI and do it on a larger level to look at the market. So we can go look at all our other competitors and get an idea of what they're selling, feed that data into the AI, and that AI can tell you, hey, we're seeing a trend in this. All your competitors are starting to post these types of items. You don't have that item yet. You might want to post that item.
Definitely see where you're going there. But I want to circle back on something that you actually mentioned there. You mentioned predictions and decision making. And so one of the big things that's going on with AI is a lot of people are concerned about bias in AI. And so how do you approach bias when it comes to developing applications?
Well, all that kind of depends on which model you're using and how you train them. So, if you have a bad data set to train the AI in the first place, then it's not really going to turn out very well. I mean, like, for example, you use ChatGPT, you open it, you type some text, it's out an answer. It's trained on a very certain data set. What a lot of people don't really know is you can actually make your own version of ChatGPT assistants or others. And via API, you can train them on custom data sets to make it respond differently in a non biased way. So you can do that with Llama. So, like Facebook, a couple of days ago, just released open source Llama that you can host on your laptop or on a server somewhere and train it yourself. So you can feed it as much data as you want, documents. Say, for example, you're doing customer service. You can take all of your customer service transcripts, upload them directly into that Llama, and it will teach it to be able to respond like your customer service reps.
Wow. That's amazing. And so, in that same vein, that seems like all of that is possible. And so, organizations are interested in doing that. Where does an implementation partner come to play in all that? Because many of them are not able to do that in house. And so, that usually would mean that they'll have to go outside the organization to actually implement technology. So, how do they do that? And what are some do's and don'ts when it comes to that?
Yeah. So when we work with clients, generally what we'll do is we'll go through and we'll audit their day to day processes. We'll see where certain time saps are, where they might be dropping revenue in terms of sales and in terms of efficiency. And then we'll also go see what the nice to haves would be like. Oh, it would be cool if I had like a dashboard that could do XYZ. So we go through, we'd audit the processes and we'd also audit the technology that they're using. Because, for example, some businesses are using SAP, other businesses are using HubSpot. Everybody has different systems. Some have their custom stuff built, others don't. And so it's always a little bit difficult coming in without having that consultation first to have an idea of, okay, these are the technologies we're working with. These ones have APIs, these ones don't. So what we could do is integrate these systems here, and over here, we need to build something custom for them. And so it's a very kind of lengthy process, actually, to really understand how to integrate some of these things. Some do's and don'ts. I mean, definitely go with a software agency that has been audited before. 100%. We paid Red Corner to come in externally and audit us and our coding practices and our teams and everything. And that has helped us tenfold. Another thing is you're going to want an agency that's OWASP compliant. OWASP is a security association in the US. It's basically the guidelines for data processing, data security. That is extremely important. You don't want to build an app that's leaking data and then you get hacked. Doesn't really make sense. And then the third thing I would say is just case studies. Do your due diligence in figuring out what the business has already done. And if they talk well and they say they can solve a problem and they show you some things, maybe start small, then I think it's okay.
So obviously you're integrated into all this. Your company's totally integrated in all this. They're certified and audited and all that. And so just take a quick moment to give us an overview of some of the products and the services that Horizon Development offers.
Absolutely. So we mostly do, like I said, automation and automation processes. So, like I mentioned, we'll go in, we'll audit a company, we'll say, hey, we see these processes in your sales, we see these processes in your fulfillment, same customer service. We see these legacy systems that aren't really working very much anymore. They're not playing well with the new stuff. We'll go through, move those legacy databases into a new database that can integrate easily with stuff. We'll automate processes and streamline things so you can make more revenue, save more time. We could save, like, imagine a sales team of 20 people working 8 hours a day, and we turn that into a 4 hour day. Imagine what those sales guys could do with those other 4 hours. Like, that's a big savings. So we'll do that. And then on the side, we'll also build websites and apps, like mobile apps, because obviously these companies, a lot of them sell products. A lot of them, they want their own dashboards. They want everything all in one system. That's called a website.
And so your services, is it good for small businesses, large enterprise businesses, or who are you actually catering to?
Yeah, so we're catering small to medium-sized businesses, not entrepreneurs like just starting out or anybody like less than around 10 team size. Once you hit around 10 to 15 team players, then it makes more sense to hire us. And then, yeah, up to enterprise level, we do CI/CD frameworks, which means like we can't push broken code, and we give full development environments with documentation with all of our products so that if we ever disappear, God forbid, or you have to hire another developer, they have all the instructions they need to be able to jump in and do stuff for you. If you guys just decide you don't want to work with us, great. We'll train our competition to work for you. It's not a big deal.
Wow. And so you mentioned something forbids, happen to you. I mean, that could happen with technology. And so with that being said, what excites you about technologies coming out? Is there anything that has caught your attention that you're looking forward to, or imagine the possibilities of things to come?
Kind of almost everything Elon Musk is doing in a lot of ways. I mean, obviously he's like the guru in the space, but no, he's doing amazing stuff. Like the way he modified batteries to no longer have tabs in them and change the entire, like nobody's ever done that. And now the batteries charge faster and have more capacity than they've ever had before. And it's like, whoa, mind boggling that he can reverse engineer a process that we've had for a long time. And everybody was like, oh, there's no better way to do it. And he just jumps in and does it. I find the things he's doing amazing, especially with Starlink and with basically everything. Tesla, the auto driving cars. I mean, we're not quite there yet, but it seems like we're getting kind of close.
So you mentioned Tesla, the auto driving cars. And so in that same vein, how do you see AI impacting industries across the board?
Well, I think a large portion of manufacturing will no longer need physical labor workforce. I feel like all their workforce is going to be technicians, just maintaining the machines. I think a big portion of logistics, data warehousing, data in itself is going to all be completely automated. I think the only industries that probably won't be automated are things like human services like psychology, and then creative things, music. I know there's some AIs that generate songs and stuff and lyrics and whatnot, but there's just something about having mistakes or the human elements of creativity that AI doesn't quite capture. I mean, you've seen the new videos that OpenAI is doing, and they look good, but they're like kind of off.
And I was actually wondering, like, although it is a little bit off, just say, okay, well, when you give it a few years, would it be basically unrecognizable or something? Because I'm like, right now, it's kind of the beginning stages of a lot of things. But just kind of looking forward, even you're talking about manufacturing, like you mentioned. And so I was even wondering, how would you automate, let's say, a forklift driver? How would that be automated? Do you have any insights on that? Or there will be machines, but How does that happen?
I guess you could ask Jeff Bezos. He's automating a lot of those things. Yeah, it's like when it comes to machining parts and stuff and robotics, I'm not 100% like we don't do that. But I have seen some crazy movements and advancements in all sides. I mean, if we almost have self-driving cars, I'm pretty sure we can figure out a forklift, right?
Right. And so, in that same vein, just figuring things out when it comes to implementing new technology, AI, machine learning, intelligent automation, and all things that goes along with it. What are some benefits that organizations will have by implementing this new cutting edge technology?
Well, first of all, labor costs are going to go down extremely, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. I mean, people say it's going to take away jobs, but I mean, the tractor came out and it took away jobs, but it just created a bunch of new jobs. Gary Vee talks about that a lot. So customer service is going to kind of disappear for the most part. I do think the companies that use AI in conjunction with a bit of customer service, but add that extra personalized touch to it, will probably reach ahead and get that extra 110% and that extra market share, right? I think a good portion of sales can be automated. I don't think you can fully automate the sales. I think you can automate the outreach of the sales. You can automate some portions of the creative when it comes to marketing and doing ads and things like that, but not 100%. You can automate doing subtitles and maybe even cutting. I've seen some AIs come out now that can cut up shorts and stuff. I've used a few. Some are all right. They're still like kind of missing a little bit. I think they could be a little better, but I think in the coming years, it's probably going to be pretty good. And then data. I think it's going to be huge, especially for like predicting things. Imagine like you could track all the shipping containers and you have the manifestos of what's inside and you can track the movement around the world. What would that tell you?
It blows your mind at the possibility. And so you think about that. And so just for example, say an organization is interested in getting started implementing some of this new technology. How would they be able to do that with Horizon Development?
Yeah, I mean, reach out, have a call. I'm always happy to hop on a call for free. I don't mind helping people for free. We help people all the time. Recently, I've been posting some content and I will be posting a lot more content going over the basics of training AIs, basics of automation, some simple things that you can do for yourself and your small team and whatnot. Not on an enterprise level because it would take months just to code the thing. I can't do that in a short video. But I'm always open to help and to advise. And I'm also open to vet other people's code for people for free. So if anybody ever is like, oh, I want to work with this dev, I don't know if he's good, I'd be happy to hop on a call and see if he's fit for the job.
So, Austin, it has been amazing. You provided some really great insights. And so definitely appreciate you coming on today. But I have one question that I want to ask you. I've just been itching at me this whole time since you mentioned somebody earlier, Elon Musk. I don't know if this person's interested in or not. But in the world of AI, machine learning, and intelligent automation, if you had an opportunity to take one person to lunch, who would that person be and why?
Elon Musk would be nice, but I think I would actually take Lex Friedman, believe it or not. He is an incredibly intelligent person. I listen to his podcast all the time. The way he thinks about things, he's very well-spoken individual. And I think I could learn so many things just having a 10-minute conversation from him.
So I just wanted to remind you, Austin, that you have my contact information. And if you ever so happen to get an opportunity to get a lunch with them, please feel free to send me an invitation. Also, I would love to be a fly on the wall of that lunch. So that would be an amazing time. And so again, it has been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us today. To our listeners, be sure to tune in to our next episode.
How to Grow Using AI, Machine Learning, and Intelligent Automation is brought to you by eClerx. For more information about services and how we can help your business leverage the power of AI and machine learning, visit our website at www.eclerx.com. That's www.eclerx.com. Don't forget to search for How to Grow Using AI, Machine Learning, and Intelligent Automation on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our episodes. On behalf of everyone here at eClerx, thanks for listening.